Hello, bookworms! And guess where I am? You know what that means? It is time for another rambly car review. I actually filmed this a couple weeks ago, but for some reason, the words are hard today. This should make for a fun video. The footage glitched, and at one point, the sound stopped for half a beat, and I kept talking, and by the end of the video, my voice had stopped talking 6 seconds after the actual video did. So you just see me just like mouthing words. It was great! And there was no saving that footage. It's cool, best. So, I wanted to talk to you today about Caraval by Stephanie Garber. You may know that I started reading it a couple weeks ago because I wanted a darker, spooky, scary book. And I have Dracula with me, which is my favorite book of all time. I've read it so many times. But I wanted something that I hadn't read before, something I didn't know, like the back of my hand. So I got Caraval, like, right when it came out, with all the hype in, like, February, I want to say? It's in a haul video sometime. But I never actually picked it up then. And it kind of just dropped off the face of the earth. So I assumed it was a good thing. I was like, oh, well, if nobody's talking about it anymore, and it's only been out for like a couple weeks now, I guess it wasn't that good. I guess I'll give it a go at a later time. I'm not going to put my effort into it right now. Sorry if my voice sounds funky. I just got over laryngitis, so my voice isn't fully here. This is the first time I've actually been able to film and had enough of a voice. See, wonderful cough. Yes, little school children, get off the bus. So I finally picked it up because Clockwork Reader on BookTube said that it was a really good book to read for this time of year with the spooky, scary Halloween. It's now like a week after Halloween, but it's fine. So I was like, okay, cool. And at the same time as it, as I decided to read it, I have been on hold for the audiobook for Caraval for about 3 months now. At one point, it said like 21 weeks, but someone read faster and it like dropped down, which is very nice because it's so low. Honestly, it probably was 21 weeks that I was on hold for it. So I started reading it, and I was like, I needed an audiobook for bedtime. Cool, bedtime story. That was an interesting first 3 chapters to read before bed. It really just catapulted me into the world and how the relationships in this book were going to be and how important and dynamic and flawed they were, and that was miraculous. I don't think I have been that drawn into a book series, because it's going to be a series, that quickly, and I was blown away. This book was dynamic in its use of relationships and its use of color. Color was a really important thing, but I can't really talk about that right now in the non-spoilery section because of spoilers. The use of color, the sexuality was a big thing in this book, and the dichotomy between being very reserved and withholding yourself, and then being a free spirit and looking at your sexuality not as something that is meant to be given as much as to be shared, if that makes sense. And then, like, coming into one's own, there's a plastic bag on the side of the road that looks like a chicken, so I thought it was a chicken. Okay, so I've been stuck behind a school bus, and now I'm stuck behind a garbage truck. What is this road trip? I just thought it was quite beautiful with all of its... Are you telling me to pass you? Okay. With all of its different opposites that it played, that was a really big thing in this book. And it made it really enjoyable read. I gave it a 4.5 stars out of 5. The reason being that I didn't give it the full 5 stars was it's not really marketed as a mystery, but in a way it was because in the book Scarlet really wants to go to Caraval, and she's wanted to go for years, and it's like this giant carnival game scenario that you get put into, and it's not really a spoiler, but she is set to be she's in an arranged marriage, and before she goes on this arranged marriage, she finally gets tickets for her and her sister and one other. It's supposed to be for her intended. So her and her sister go, but her sister is actually taken the first night of the games, and Scarlet has to try to find Donatella in order to win. Donatella is the prize. So they're given clues throughout the book to find where she is. And I don't know why it's not marketed as a mystery. It literally is a mystery for Donatella. But my phone's ringing. Because it's marketed as a mystery, you are solving the mystery of where Donatella is with Scarlet.
In half a mile, turn right onto New York 318 West.
While you're learning with Scarlet, it kind of has to do with the actual character herself, where Scarlet likes to really think through things before she does them, and like really nail down exactly what she wants to do. And in that regard, I'm a little bit closer to Donatello, where I'm kind of a mixture of both. I want to plan it out, but I also just want to go. And so because Scarlet really likes to think and reminisce on things, there would be lengthy paragraphs of her just thinking on one of these clues or something she saw, and just like really spending the time with it. And I normally really like long descriptions, but for this one,
take the next right onto New York 318 West.
But for this one, some of it was just a bit too long for me, to the point where I would get annoyed and
continue on New York 318 West for 4 miles.
Okay, Google. To the point where at times I wanted to just like skip ahead or flip ahead in the book. I didn't, obviously, because there was crucial parts in those descriptions as she was thinking of things. But there was times where I would just be like, okay, Scarlet, we get it, move on. And I think that was part of it, was like maybe you wanted to think like Donatella in order to encourage Scarlet. I don't know. I'm just throwing things out there. But I feel like there could have been a little bit more trust in the reader to come to those conclusions on our own. Maybe I'm looking into it too much. Tell me what you think. Do you think at times it was a bit too lengthy, you wanted to cut down, or do you think it worked out less? Yeah. So that's about all I can say for the non-spoilery section, because there's some juicy scenes that I really want to discuss, but they're crucial parts, so I can't. So yeah, if you don't want spoilers, don't keep watching. Bye. Or I'll like skip to a number maybe with other things. I don't know. We'll find out. So spoilery section. Their father is an awful man. He is an awful, I hate him man. But also extremely broken. I was not expecting, like I said, that violence in the first like 20 pages of the book. Like, the scene that I'm talking about is the first time we actually get an encounter with all of our main characters in one room in the cellar, where Tella has just been doing the do with Julian, which I want to see some fan art of Julian. I want some pictures of Julian, because he sounds like a really rugged, handsome man, but also genuine. I'll get into Julian in a minute. And the relationship that you see between the sisters just flies off the page. At first, which I believe was supposed to be an act, it's supposed to be an act, it's not that I believe, I know, was the way that they bickered back and forth in a way to protect each other from their father's anger. Was like, no, she did it, no, I did it, in order to deflect the pain that they knew the other would feel to themselves, rather than like it was like, I thought they were just jerks to each other at first, but no, you see next that it was so beautiful in the relationship. And the fact that later on Scarlett admits that she would give her life to help Tella, and like the heart didn't move, but she was like, no, I would, but Julian was in the way. To be honest, Julian in the way, and it's and the relationship between Scarlett and Julian, and how they were just using each other, but then it got better as they got to know each other, and they just wanted to support each other in this journey, and like everything that came out with that, and the confusion in the end, and like trying to understand who people actually are, but not understanding what could be real because of the game. The use of color in this book was really big, and I don't want to sound like a high school English teacher. The use of color is really important. The curtains were blue. No, the curtains were just freaking blue because the author wanted to be blue. But with this one, she literally point blank says, pay attention to color in the first couple pages with his glove. Purple. His gloves, I could picture so clearly. I could picture the way that they smelled with the leather, but also having the overlay of the perfume that he used, and how seeing those gloves, she knew she was safe, but as soon as he took them off, and having that unveiling of what was evil underneath, that was just beautiful. And the way that her dress was, that represented her. I had a little bit of issues with the dress and how it wasn't able to change at first, but then it was later on. Little issues with that, but I think that was also her just learning how the dress worked on her body. The rose petals at the carousel, and how, like, there's an entire scene where she goes colorblind, and color is how she tells what's important. That is just like some high school English major bullcrap. Just like, hey, pay attention to this. It was literally pay attention to this color. And it is stupid. Like, you would think I would hate that. That made me love it even more. So, like, the use of color throughout it was beautiful. And I'm definitely going to be paying attention to it for the second book, for more of it than I was the first. Like, I kind of was like, I'll pay attention to this. And then it was like, oh shit, I need to pay attention to this. The sun is right there. It's right there. I want to talk about the relationship with Julian. Like, Julian... Another reason that it was 4.5 stars was... Out of all of this whole book was so unique. For me, at least. I've never read The Night Circus, which just makes me want to read The Night Circus even more, because everyone's like, read The Night Circus before you read this. I didn't. I've seen it. I haven't bought it, and I need to. There's a beautiful edition that I saw. But it's just been so unique overall to anything I've ever read. So, when Julian came along, I have to admit, I was sort of annoyed because it seemed kind of tropey. Tropey in the fact that he fits the trope of he's not an insta-love. He's not an insta-love, I will say that. I don't think he is, at least. I think he's an instant attraction, because he is described as being so rugged and gorgeous and just mysterious and hard and like dark, and how do you get to that sort of thing. But the guy that has like the really soft spot inside that you just need to be close enough to get to, that seemed tropey to me. But in this case, it worked really well because of all of the layers of things that you learned about him throughout it. Like, wasn't actually his sister. But like things like that, where you would get tricked and you were like, well, is that real, or is it a game, or is this something that's just been twisted slightly? And so, while it sort of annoyed me when I first started reading it that he was this sort of trope, as I got to understand him as a character, I really enjoyed it. I think using him as a plot device for the ending with her father just like beating him and just really establishing that he's a horrible man, I thought it was just wonderful. If you could say someone being physically beaten is wonderful. I was just sort of, oh god, the song. Okay, is this gonna... I just thought the whole ending, not like the party ending, the ending of the game, was confusing. I will say it was confusing. But I could follow it. Yeah. So it was confusing in the fact that so much was happening. And oh my god, son! I'm sorry, there's gonna be a line in my face. But I'm driving and I need to see. There was so much happening and so much came clear that it was just like... It wasn't exposition. I will say it was not just a whole bunch of exposition. It was close. It was dangerously close. But I wouldn't say it was just straight up exposition. It was woven in a way that made sense, but it was hard to believe that people could just come back to life. But then again, that's the fantasy aspect of this series and how you never know what can be real. At times, it was almost borderline like, this is my world, nothing's like it, I can just do whatever I want. But I feel like it worked well. I did really enjoy this book. I really, really did. I didn't know there was the next one. I thought this was a standalone. And I can't wait for the next book. I found out while I was reading it, because it popped up in my Goodreads. It was like, we think you would like this. And I was like, ooh! But it's not coming out till next year. So that will be on my list of books for next year, which I am compiling. I am working on, in my head, a list of books that I want to read for next year, releases that I want. So if you have any suggestions, put them down below so that I can get a hold of them, because I want them. Nano is going, so if you want to follow my NaNoWriMo adventure, I will be posting vlogs. Not doing too hot, we'll just say that. Time management is a thing. I'm not doing great at this. I post every Wednesday and Friday, so if you want to stay updated on the booky things I'm reading and the author things I'm writing, hit the little red subscribe button, hit the little bell so you're notified when I'm writing, or reading, or talking and rambling, and follow me on my various social media links, which will all be listed down below. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I have an email. I have a Tumblr. I don't really know how to use Tumblr. It's pretty much everything that I post on Instagram, and I just share it over there. How do you tumble? Now the sun's over here. Gosh dang it. I'm really hungry. I need to go. I am going. I'm driving. I will see you on Wednesday with another video, a writing vlog about NaNoWriMo. Goodbye, my bookworms, and have fun reading or writing. I don't know what I'm saying. I need to go. Goodbye.